Welcome to a very special Lovecars and welcome to America,
where we're in a veritable Aladdin's cave of hypercars, supercars, and a couple of classics.
This is home to the Triple F collection. Jordan and Jason are brothers. Their father makes up the third F, and their friend Brett helps to run this incredible collection of cars where they make amazing videos. They do stuff that we can only dream of doing, jumping cars and doing all sorts of weird and wonderful things. And they've given us carte blanche to do whatever we want with whatever car we want, which is just incredible. And we don't really know what to do or what to choose.
We are completely spoilt for choice. I honestly don't know which one to drive first.
It's a nice problem to have, though.
It is. Very nice.
So out of all those incredible cars from the Triple F collection, why did you pick the LaFerrari?
Well, because I was lucky enough to drive all three of those infamous hypercars in Chris Harris's holy Trinity. And this was just the one I enjoyed driving the most. As soon as you get in and you push those pedals all the way forwards, the seats don't move, you get so much better driving position. So straight away you're more comfortable sitting in it. And then you're sitting behind a steering wheel that's got this logo on it. I mean, I know the logo shouldn't matter much, but yeah, the prestige, the history of Ferrari, it put it at an advantage of the word go. The Porsche 911 I didn't like, because it was like 600 horsepower engine and like 300 horsepower of hybrid. And this is the funny thing about this hybrid. This was the first Ferrari hybrid, but it's only got about 150 hybrid and like 700 straight horsepower from
V12.
The V12 behind it, see? And even the P1 McLaren has got quite a bit of hybrid. And the big weird thing about this hybrid thing is, of course, you don't actually have all that hybrid. They all said they all had 900 horsepower. But of course, hybrid disappears in about 2 laps of a racetrack, and then you're back to what you've got with the engine.
But what about in terms of looks, in terms of the Holy Trinity?
Well, there's again no competition.
You think so?
A red Ferrari, beautifully sculptured, with these lovely wing mirrors, very individual. I mean, it's just stunning to look at.
I think the P1's the best looking out of the three. This has grown on me a lot, but I think the P1 is still better looking than this.
Let's call that woozy and whooshing of turbocharged. Well, I did enjoy actually the P1 when you lift off, you get the wastegates. But we've only got to put this into race and just flap down a couple of gears. And I mean, we can just cruise along. With that sound, up to 9,000 revs.
Sounds incredible, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound amazing? I was just going to say, you actually started to really like the Chiron, but you don't get that noise from the Chiron.
The Pagani is the car that comes closest really to this for the sheer driving thrills. I mean, yes, I love the Bugatti Chiron because it's effortless and for a long distance cruiser, but you still can't beat a Ferrari. That's as simple as that. It's a Ferrari. And I mean, it's got a 0 to 62, if you believe all those numbers, of 2.6 seconds. So it's incredibly quick.
How can they do that with a rear-wheel drive car?
I don't know.
No, it just defies logic or physics. It just seems to be so many special Ferraris now. You had some time in the SF90, but the Halo cars, 288 GTO, then the F40, F50, Enzo, and then LaFerrari and LaFerrari Aperta as well. But I could tell you one thing, the next Halo car is probably not going to have a big V12 like this.
What are they going to do? They won't jump full electric, will they?
No,
There's going to
be a hybrid of some
There'll
sort.
still be an engine. There'll still be a wonderful motor that I can see in my rear view mirror, you see. Look at those little cam covers with Ferrari etched into them.
There is something very, very special about a Ferrari, especially a Halo Ferrari.
I'll tell you what's surprising with LaFerrari being on this public road is the ride quality is actually quite good. You know, we tried that Pagani Huayra, which is a bit of a sporty version, which is quite harsh compared with this. It's a good ride.
It's beautiful inside as well, isn't it? All this exposed carbon and Alcantara. It's quite small. It's smaller than I remember. I'm lucky I've got small legs because there's no adjustment on this seat at all. Of course, you put your pedals back.
Yeah.
There's no adjustment for the passenger.
And there's not too much fuss in the dials. I got the rev counter in the middle, speed on the left, my little manatee on the steering wheel.
Brakes are good, thankfully. You know what I like about these guys from the Triple F collection? Well, I like a lot about them. They'd be the best hosts you could possibly imagine, but they drive their cars. They love driving their cars, and they love showing their cars off to people as well, which is...
Stop grinning. Oh, it is one of the nicest sounds.
That's fantastic, isn't it? A screaming V12. So that brilliant video you did with Chris Harris on the Holy Trinity, how did you come about deciding who had what car?
Well, it was weird because Chris at the end said, right, you've got to pick one now. You've all got to pick one. Tiff, you first, you know. So I did a quick analysis. I said, well, yeah, the P1, it had to be lowered down to be fastest around the track, which you couldn't use on the roads. That was cheating. And I said, well, the Ferrari was the most comfortable to drive. It's got the most naturally aspirated power. So I'll have the Ferrari. And then we went to Marino Franchitti, who just said all of them. And then Chris himself, and what about you then, Chris? The last one I drove. So after all, I was the only one that had the bottle to actually pick a winner, and the winner had to be the LaFerrari.
So you made the right decision, is what you're saying?
Of course I did. This car will live on in far greater prestige. The P1's already been forgotten with the Senna turning up. Who remembers the P1?
That's absolutely, you're talking rubbish. Absolute rubbish. The P1 will never be forgotten. It's a very special car, but I'll tell you what, that people are having problems with the battery on the P1.
Are they?
Ferrari, on the other hand, they put their money where their mouth is, and they offered owners of the LaFerrari an extended 10-year warranty, which is unheard of for any car, let alone a hypercar, because they're that confident about the technology, the hybrid technology within their car. So you've got, on one hand, P1 owners having to shell out 100 grand for a new battery, a hybrid battery, and Ferrari is saying, we'll give you an extended 10-year warranty.
Isn't hybrid wonderful? Electricity, wonderful. But I'm not sure which the most exclusive, the rarest of these three hypercars.
Well, in reverse order, the 918 of the Holy Trinity, 918 were made.
Okay.
499 LaFerraris, but there was another 210 Apertas.
Oh, the open roof version, yeah.
And the rarest is the P1, 375 made.
Okay.
But they should be the most expensive based on that, but of course they're not. On second hand,
what's the price second hand now?
Second hand, you get a McLaren P1 for just about £1 million, same as the 918, a bit less, and this is 2 million. Plus.
There you go. So I've chosen the best car, quite obviously. So come on, Paul, after I'd chosen the LaFerrari, I thought you'd go straight for the Senna. So why the long tails?
Senna would have been miles down on my list of, well, it's a bit weird you back there. Senna would have been miles down on my list, actually. I would have, you got the Pagani, but I've already driven that. Bugatti Chiron, driven that.
I've driven that.
But I'm fascinated by this car. It's just, there's something about it. Of course, it's supposed to be the successor to the famous F1 that you spent.
I was about to say, I've got a trouble with this car, a problem with this car straight away. Because the three-seater is the McLaren F1, and it should have been left as that. So this is, you know, paying homage, but doesn't have a nice V12 in the back, does it? What has it got?
Well, it's got a V8 4 litre, and you've got this hybrid motor as well. But it's 1,070 horsepower. It's no slouch.
Yeah, if your hybrid's working to match. There's about a 300 horsepower hybrid system, I think. So it's quite high on the
310
hybrid.
Yeah, but it's got some juice.
And sounds very nice, you have to say.
It does. The whole car is just spectacular. I didn't want to like it. I didn't like it when I saw it at Geneva. I thought it was a funny looking thing, but it is spectacular.
Still a funny looking thing to me. The nose is a bit funny, the tail's a bit long. I suppose that's supposed to be like that. But it's the cockpit that worries me the most. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that dashboard layout. It looks very simple.
Yeah, but surely that's simplicity. You harp on about simplicity all the time.
Yeah, but it should be artistic simplicity. I mean, these dials here, media, phone, I mean it's just, that's all there is.
I'll be honest with you, the wing mirrors do remind me of a Honda E. Unlike a Honda E, you've got cameras for wing mirrors, but when you go maximum velocity, the cameras go back into the car. So they're out all the time as they are now. But when you go for maximum velocity, of course, the reduced drag, they go in. Yeah, I love these little nods to the McLaren F1 with these little windows that you can open here. Whoops. There you go. Very nice. And this car, when it was new, £2.1 million if you could get one. But this particular car is the most expensive McLaren Speedtail ever built. The roof scoop up there was on its own $150,000. The badges were $80,000 because they're platinum. That's a lot of money, isn't it? Look at this. It's got this electromechanic glass, so you can press this button here and the glass changes, so you've got sunlight coming through. Or you can change it back.
It's getting hot, Dad. Can you shut that back down again,
Okay,
please?
how's that?
That's better, thank you. Actually, look at the sun now. It's a big change.
What was your British land speed record in the McLaren F1 at around Millbrook? What was the speed?
Averaged 195.
You could beat that in this.
You couldn't.
You could beat that in this, I'm telling you. When did the McLaren F1 come out?
It all depends on the tyres, that's the thing. So I suppose tyres now, the road tyres they've got homologated are much more racier than the ones they had on that the F1, which blistered at 200 miles an hour and nearly killed me, but we still go there.
But it's still your favourite car of all time?
Yes, I still like, and it's that soft suspension, by modern standards. Have you seen the original film of me testing that F1? That's rolling and diving under braking. They're also stiff nowadays, these modern hypercars.
This has got a really good suspension, hasn't it? Don't you think?
I think it's harsher ride than the Ferrari almost.
No, you've been drinking. You've been on the Budweiser or something. No, it's lovely and smooth.
If I'd been on the Budweiser, I wouldn't be drunk because it's just water.
yeah. The American beer is quite interesting.
So what's the 0 to 62 top speed of this?
It's slower 0 to 62 than the LaFerrari. This is 3 seconds over 2.6 seconds.
Yeah. But
top speed 250 miles an hour. I mean, it's built for speed, isn't it?
Yeah. What's the weight? Because the Ferrari's about 1,500 kilograms, I think.
Pretty much identical weight.
The same.
Yeah. But this is 5.1 meters long. It's a good feel. You don't like this steering wheel, do you? I like it. I think
the colour, not the colour.
Ah, okay.
When you look at the car from the outside, it's got lovely. I mean, the blue carbon fibre is brilliant on this in the sunshine. The detail is absolutely fabulous. But then you see through the front screen, and they've got a different blue.
Stunning.
It's a different blue. It clashes.
It's stunning, and that carbon fibre that you just mentioned is infused with titanium to give it extra strength. I'm sure that's
infused, is it?
Infused.
Infused.
Yeah. What would you say? Entwined or infused?
I've no idea. I like infused. You don't know who we're talking about, nor do I. So we'll stick to infused, shall we? And I'm sorry, I just don't like it. I don't like it looks, and it's diluted the history of the F1. The three-seater. Do
you like this?
Oh no, not one of these. Oh no! Will you stop doing that?
I like it.
I quite like the reverse neutral drive up the top. That's
same as the Senna. It changes that.
Is that the same as the Senna?
Yeah.
So what are these two dials you've got?
To put it into manual, sport, ESC on,
it's like
off.
your Manatinos are up there.
Exactly, yeah. So in the P1, of course, they're down here in the middle. But
so do you think central driving position is better or worse? I mean, obviously, it's a funny choice.
It's weird because we're in America, so your senses are sort of overload in terms of driving, because we're on the funny side of the road, on the wrong side of the road driving. But it feels okay, doesn't it? You can judge a car quite well, I think, this way. Maybe I'll do some single-seater racing. Maybe.
Oh no, the world's
maybe that's
not
the
ready
future.
to do a single-seater.